guys. I like the way they listen.
I know.
All right.
I mean, she sounds like she interceded, and when I talked to her, she agreed with my plan. I incorporated
All right, let's call to order. On roll call, Mr. Ayer,
Here.
Mr. Bartlett,
Here.
Dr. Lewis,
Here.
Mr. Van Stone,
Here.
Mr. York.
Here.
Now, before we formally get started into this budgeting part of it, Mr. York is going to,
Well, I'm going to defer to Liz Matthew, the treasurer of the Marymount Legacy Foundation,
okay.
to come up.
Why are we doing,
So, yeah, we've
why
got,
are we not doing this during,
so this check represents the money that the Marymount Legacy Foundation donated to the village in 2024. The big part of it includes the pool campaign. I know Matt Ayer had a big part to do with that. Paula Ayer had a big part to do with that. Alicia Scott, Mandy, sorry, Terry Donovan,
Becca.
I need a tissue.
highly involved. So that was a big part of this check. We also.
I need a tissue, it's my nose.
From Spin River Builders, donated money for the lighting in the island. We also had Mike Pardo and the group at the National Exemplar, including the Pendry family, paid entirely for the renovation of the clock tower in front of the inn. And we also had a donation from the Hatton Foundation, and that money has gone towards a third-party consultant that's gonna look into fundraising and implementation of pickleball courts in Marymount. So that is the net of this, so
Well, what-
if you guys would like to come up.
Yeah, let's get some pictures.
I work here. You guys do it. I don't need to.
So, all right, so I'm sorry, so I want to introduce the other members of the Legacy Foundation. Obviously,
Hey, I'm not a
Liz,
volunteer. You guys
is our-
go for it.
Is our treasurer. Brandon Westfall is our secretary. He's out. Steve Lewis is involved in Marie Hunnefeld. So it's a small group. I thought, well, I got a late scratch from Marie. And then I also want to give a shout out to Jim Gore and Thor Investment Management. So we worked with them to create a Charles Schwab account so we can accept securities. We had never been able to do that before. And when I went on, they wanted a $100,000 net asset value to start it. So they were able to do all that. So that's made a nice difference for us.
And we're earning interest.
And we're earning copious interest. Pretending like each other.
Well, Bill's contagious.
yeah, Bill's German. Why are you doing that, man?
Let's do this too.
There you go.
All right, one more.
I'm gonna get one too. I scored.
Randy, did you get our bidding?
Yeah, you get my good side.
Not that I don't trust you.
Well, that's probably a good call.
Thanks again this morning for under short notice. I didn't want to hold you up for different work.
I was already running behind, so it was all good.
I'm gonna put it in the little machine.
Terry.
Thank you, Mayor.
Well, on behalf of the village, I know I didn't speak up during all the excitement, but on behalf of the village, I would like to obviously thank Randy for basically organizing, starting this. He probably put in I mean, he had help, he had volunteers, I'll give you that. But he had a tremendous effort, time, everything else that he put into this to basically make a check like that possible and to make some of the projects that we're hoping to undertake possible. So for that, Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think it's testament to the resources and care in this village, and there's more to come.
Amen. Amen. All right, Ms. Rankin, are you going to walk us through this?
So everybody's got the form for the budget meeting, correct?
Yep.
Okay, so basically, the exercise here is that we took what our carryover balances would be for both the permanent improvement fund and added what our estimated revenue for 2025 will be. Backed out our tax collection fees, as you see on that line. Basically, what we're showing is what's available after the tax collection fees are deducted. And as the exercise, I believe, had gone through over the course of the year to determine where funds should be expended, it's put together this sheet with what the proposals were to spend on. So as you can see, the first line being the $72,000 for a police car. And to note that there are car computers that will be needed, and Chief has indicated that they'll, will be paid out of the other fund, 2271. So the point is that money won't be available to spend on the cars themselves. And then the cardiac monitors, which are required for the fire and EMS department, also coming out of the permanent improvement limited. So out of the permanent improvement account, the discussion was that I can read each number, or you can look at it. Just look at it. Joni's saying just look at it. So, these are the amounts that were allocated per the conversations over the course of the year. And fortunately, all of them we can do because we have enough money available and leaving us with the balance that we're shooting for at the end of the year. So, that being said, conversations, questions, discussion.
Well, it's hard to have an argument here. We can do everything.
We can do everything. This is like in the past where we put everything on it and gone like, can't do that, won't
Yeah,
do that,
or
which was the
what can we cut here?
time-consuming
What
part
can
of the
we cut
meeting.
there?
I mean,
Yeah.
Kelly, just on the, kind of the nuts and bolts of how this is all gonna work.
Mm-hmm.
On, of course, I have a keen interest in the pool project.
Mm-hmm.
And I understand what the 84,000 is, and that's the village share, and the rest is coming from private funds. But my question is we have funds left over from 24 that are gonna carry over into that project into 25 because we have these contractor POs and they didn't do all the work in 24, so that money's gonna carry over. Plus, we have additional private money that's not in yet, that has to come, that hasn't been sent to the village yet, and in a couple cases, we're still waiting to close those donations. So that's gonna be coming to the foundation and to the village and go into this fund. So what I wanna make sure is that you have the appropriations for the whole pool project, which is basically 84 times 3. With some of it, with all but the 84 coming from private funds. So what we're doing today is we're allocating this 84, but I just want to make sure that that other stuff is carrying forward and that that we don't get into a spot where we say, oh, well, we haven't appropriated that money yet when it comes time to spend the rest on the
you're talking
rest
about
of the project.
appropriating the donations that have been come in so far, correct?
The ones that have already come in and the ones that are yet to come in.
Right.
And-
Well, as they
And the
come
money
in-
that's, and the money, yeah, and I just want to make sure that we don't have to go through if possible, that we don't have to go through appropriations process.
We don't.
All right, so the 161-ish that was donated from the lake, from you guys, so that wasn't all spent. So all that carries over to 2025.
That is
So we don't
correct.
do anything with that.
Correct.
So Kelly created a separate fund,
Right.
and it's got the cash balance as of, I don't know, what, December the 12th was like 140,850. So that's the money that's been already, it's actually in its own fund set aside.
Right. Yeah, that fund is,
And that sounds about right. That's-
Yeah. And then when we get the rest of the donations and it comes in, we don't have to do anything else tonight.
no.
Okay, I just want to make sure of that.
And I'm assuming, Kelly, when the time comes, you'll just transfer money from the village's share will come out of, you'll transfer funds
Correct.
right out of the permanent improvement fund all to this waiting pool project fund 49.
I'll actually put it in the fund.
Yeah, transferred into
Any,
that.
any fund, any money that comes in specific for the pool will go into its own fund. That's why I created that fund. So in and out. Same with the dogwood fund. Anything that goes in and out is for that project. Does that
Next
answer the
qu-
question, Matt?
Oh, I've got a couple more. Bob, the LED lights number, the 22, is that to finish it?
Yes.
So that's an important point,
That's,
as we were
that's
talking about.
my, that's my estimate. We have 55 to go. If we use last year's estimate, it would be 20.7. However, I think the globes for the, whatever we want to call it, the pendant lights or whatever, the goosenecks may be a little more expensive. So I jacked the 20.7 up to 22,
Okay,
which I think should cover it. But
I just want to make sure I understood, and that's fantastic that we're speeding things up and just getting her done. I like that.
I did, there were gonna be 10 left for
Yep.
26, and it wasn't worth it.
Yeah, it's a good
Okay, and then my last item is, when we went through our priorities, and whether it was the village council or whether it was the village staff, everyone's number one priority was doing the concourse project. Now, since that time, we've learned that we have more repairs to do than what we originally thought when we developed that budget, which was essentially for lumber and just a few other tools and supplies. So given that, I believe the community it's looking to get that project finished in 2025. And we have a bunch of masonry work to do that we don't have in this budget. So with it being our unanimous number one project, I think we need to borrow from somebody to pay for our number one priority project.
Well, I guess, so the thing is also, Matt, we did spend 12,500 in 2024.
Right.
So, and now we've built in 39,000. And I think Kelly went to Bill to say, what do you think is, how much we need to build in, including the tuck?
Well, the tuck pointing is done, so it'll be, I'm sorry, the cleaning is done, but it's the tuck pointing and any repairs, correct, Bill? Ask
Yeah.
Bill yes, no questions, please.
As I was trying to explain, if there is the 39 that's left, that would be more than enough to buy all of the lumber to finish the west wing and the teeny bit that's left on, or I mean the east wing and the teeny bit that's left on the west wing. And additionally, then, to start the point and tuck work on both wings. But I don't have a good hard estimate. I mean, I talked to McCarran. I mean, it's gonna be it's gonna be a process, gonna take time, kind of a thing. So clearly, this spring, I want to get him started on the western wing, kind of a thing. Now, if you want to somehow speed the project up, that's,
Well, when we had our original budget, that included the center, which,
well, out of the 39, I mean, if I'm not paying for any point and tuck work there, yeah, that 39 would buy all of the wood for the remainder of the project, yes.
right, correct.
Yeah.
So we're coming up, maybe, I'm just gonna throw a number out there. I'm gonna say $40,000 we might spend on masonry, in addition to the lumber, and it's our number one priority project, and I think we should appropriate it.
Well, what I'm saying is, if you want the option, that could be the number. I'm just saying, for 2025, it wouldn't be necessary to move money around. I can get both wings done, wood-wise, and probably the point and tuck work in 25, and then, of course, in 26, do the center section. But if you want to speed it up, yeah, then we're talking about additional money.
Is it practical, though? I mean, I don't know. It's a nice thought to have it all be done in 2025, but is that practical?
I'm not sure it's practical, but it's possible. I mean, it involves, more work and more helpers and so on and so forth.
And to Matt, to your other point, from Kelly's sheet here, the target for that permanent improvement all fund is to maintain at least 200,000. She's got remaining of 232. So there is money available if we need it if we get more work done. We don't have to sit there and cut from somebody else unless the 39 and you want to add another 40 on top of the 39.
To Smith?
Then all of a sudden you're going to be over.
And I recommend we do that, so we get this, I think people People want that concourse project done.
Well, the question I have is based on Rob's comment, we have 32 left there. When we get the bid in, then we can transfer money or
Or,
appropriate it. Or
yeah,
what-
appropriate more money or whatever, yeah.
And without a bid, it's hard, or an estimate, it's sort of hard pressed for me to say we should add X dollars to that. I like the goal, and I think if we got a bid from McCarran that said it's going